Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs 1st October. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 15. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, India chases away Pakistan copter breaching airspace. So this is regarding a Pakistan helicopter. So this was a Pakistani helicopter carrying Pakistan occupied Kashmir Prime Minister. So he was on the copter and it violated the airspace agreement between the two countries. It entered into Indian side of the airspace across the LOC. So armed forces across the manning the LOC in Pir Panjal in Poonch district in Jammu and Kashmir opened fire at the helicopter. But the bullets did not hit the helicopter and the Prime Minister is safe. The Pakistan High Commission officials have still not confirmed the incident. So the authorities say, the armed forces say, the helicopter had is barred from coming from within 1 kilometer on both sides of the LOC as per the agreement between India and Pakistan, and this helicopter flew for nearly 5 minutes within 250 meters of the LOC. So that is why this action was taken. Then next is Pakistan's terror charge outrages India. So this is regarding Pakistan now saying that India is sponsoring terrorism in its territory. So India has been continuously saying how Pakistan has been sponsoring terror in India. Pakistan is making similar allegation against India, which the Indian Secretary to the Permanent Mission of India to UN says that this is outrageous. So it says this is the most outrageous statement being made by Pakistan. This is even dishonoring the memory of the innocent lives lost to terrorists on that day. So this is a 2014 incident. Peshawar Army Public School was attacked by terrorists. And this is the one for which India has been blamed. There were around 149 people killed in this incident and mostly they were children of the Army Public School. So how can Pakistan put such a blame on India is being questioned. It has been called outrageous, totally irresponsible. So here you can see this is the incident which took place in 2014. So, Taliban militants went from room to room shooting children as young as 12 in an 8-hour onslaught in Army Public School in Peshawar. So attack has been claimed by Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which has killed thousands in Pakistan since 2007. And now India is being blamed for this. Then next is Indonesia tsunami toll rises to 832. So this is regarding the earthquake and tsunami which struck Indonesia on 28 September 2018. So in 2004 was the tsunami which had struck, and since then warning systems are in place, but in Indonesia it has been seen that these warning systems did not function because already the death toll from this has come to 832 and still the interior parts and outlying communities are to be reached because they are cut off. So the death toll is going to be quite high. So this is the latest natural disaster which has struck Indonesia even last month, or rather in August 2018, a powerful earthquake also struck Indonesia and the island of Lombok, which killed 505 people. So Indonesia is located on the Ring of Fire, the Pacific Ring of Fire. So it's a fault line in the Pacific Basin. So it's the arc of volcanoes which are located here. So volcanic eruptions, earthquakes and tsunamis frequently strike here. So Indonesia is prone to natural disasters. So this is there. Also the warning systems were put in place but they were not functioning, and the Disaster Agency of Indonesia says that there is lack of funding for them, and that's why no tsunami buoys, one of the instruments which are used to detect the tsunami waves, they were not been operating in Indonesia since 2012. So this is the scenario now. So although tsunami warning was issued by the Meteorological and Geophysics Agency, but then it was within 34 minutes withdrawn. So it was said that this is too hasty and they withdrew it. So such is the scenario of even early warning systems. Also on this Palu beach, hundreds of people had gathered for a festival when the water surged. So this is the most affected area, Palu. You can see here. This is the epicenter of the earthquake in Indonesia. So this is the Indonesia in white shown here. And this is the region affected here. This is the point. So here the tsunami waves reached as high as 6 meters in some area. And the most damage is here in Palu. So Indonesia, located in Southeast Asia, is an archipelago. Archipelago means it's a group of islands. It comprises of approximately 17,508 islands. So also it has a huge population. It was a Dutch colony earlier. It gained independence after the Second World War, and it has a huge majority of Muslim population too. It's the fourth most populous country in the world too. The capital of Indonesia is Jakarta. And this is regarding the 2004 tsunami which struck the Indian Ocean region. So it was the earthquake which struck this tsunami on 26 December 2004. And the epicenter of that earthquake was also off the coast of Sumatra, a part of Indonesia. This is the Pacific Ring of Fire shown. So this is the region of high volcanic and seismic activity, means earthquake activity. It's around 40,000 kilometers. So this is the entire ring, you can see. So this is the Eurasian continent. This is the America, North America, South America, and then Europe. This is where Indonesia lies. This is the Pacific Ring of Fire. Then next is tiger presence in 3 more Odisha forests. So Odisha government has confirmed the presence of tigers in 3 more forests in the state. So there are 2 tiger reserves in Odisha. One is Simplified Tiger Reserve, which has significant tiger population, and another one is Satkosia Tiger Reserve. So these are the 2 tiger reserves, 2 known habitats of tigers in the state. But now it has been said that CCTV cameras have captured tigers in other forests too, like Himgiri forest. In some other forests, tiger roads have been heard by people. Cattle killing has been reported, so that shows that other forests may also be having tiger population. So Odisha government now wants Sunabeda Tiger Sanctuary and also Debrigarh Sanctuary to be declared as tiger reserves in the state. So it is putting forward this plan, this proposal to the government so that they can be recognized. So this is a state government's proposal. So this Sunabeda Sanctuary, you should know, is part of the region where CPI Maoist is the outlawed organization has a stronghold. So that is why tiger census has also not been carried out in this sanctuary. It has been postponed several times in the past as such. So this is there. Also, Satkosia Tiger Reserve was also recently in news because 3 pairs of tigers were introduced here. They were brought from Madhya Pradesh and introduced in Satkosia, which resulted in people protesting against this too. So the first release has taken place, but after that 2 out of the 6, means 3 pairs. First pair was released, but local population resistance has resulted in further release being delayed. And this is the detail regarding the tiger reserves in the country. So all the states. So here you can see Simlipal and Satkosia are the 2 tiger reserves in Odisha. Then next is Kumram Bhim's kin waits for a job. So this is regarding Kumram Bhim. So he was an Adivasi legendary martyr who was fighting for the rights of Aboriginal people, the right to land for the Aboriginal people under the rule of the Nizam of Hyderabad. So it has been 80 years since this phase, this period when he was sacrificed his life. This was the Raj Gond, the tribal leader. He sacrificed his life in September 1940. So in memory of this, his martyrdom anniversary is celebrated, and again this martyrdom anniversary, which would take place now in October 2018, the same issue of providing benefits to the descendants of Kumram Bhim, which has been promised by the state government of Telangana, has not been fulfilled. So employment for the children. So the great granddaughter of Kumram Bhim wants the suitable government employment, but she has not been provided. So this so far is the issue which is in news. But you should know about Kumram Bhim basically. So he was Gond tribal leader, and he was fighting for the rights of Aboriginal population here in the Hyderabad state, which was ruled by the Nizam. Then next is terracotta artifacts unearthed on the banks of Pampa River. So this is regarding Pampa River in Kerala. So here the heritage village Aranmula also flourishes, and now artifacts, terracotta artifacts of archaeological value have been found on the banks of river Pampa here. So this has resulted in enthusiasm amongst the population here, and they have also passed on this information. So all the artifacts came to the view when a caved in portion of the bank of Pampa river was looked into, and in this the passers-by encountered that there were these terracotta idols which were even of Naga images, a male bust, female face, and ornaments which they found here. So archaeological study would be taking place on this, and this is hinting to a civilization in the Pampa Valley on par with the Indus Valley civilization. So this is what has been expected, that the culturally rich Pampa Valley civilization flourished here. The Aranmula Heritage Village is already famous in Kerala. So here you should know about Aranmula too. This is a site of the Onam festival boat race. So generally it is held in September. And this is the Sabrimala temple complex too, which is near this Pampa river. So you can see this is the Pampa river here in Kerala. This is Sabrimala in Kerala, which has also been in news because of the recent Supreme Court verdict. Then next is a crusade for women's rights. So the recent Supreme Court rulings in which the patriarchy has been questioned regularly has been highlighted in this article. It talks of how in various cases, like you can see, the one was regarding the Sabrimala case, in which the court held that the ban on women based on their menstrual status and considering them polluted is and a distraction for worshippers is a form of untouchability. So it struck down such norms in the Sabrimala temple too. Then also it clearly stated that it is a form of untouchability, means it is a social evil which it showed that still prevails in the country, though untouchability has been already abolished in the country by the Untouchability Act of 1955 in place too. Already it is unconstitutional under fundamental rights too. Then another one is regarding October 2016 ruling of the Supreme Court. Then Chief Justice of India T.S. Thakur also spoke of how Haji Ali Dargah also here restricts women entry similar to Sabrimala temple. So here also the exclusion, it was said that is practiced by both Hindus and Muslims, and this problem needs to be addressed. At that time the Haji Ali Dargah Trust conceded, and it said that it will allow women to enter the sanctorum of the Dargah at par with men. Again, women were allowed entry here, and now women in Sabrimala have also been allowed entry. Also, another ruling of the Supreme Court came in August 2017 when it declared triple talaq unconstitutional and anti-Quran. So, instant triple talaq as such is against the basic tenets of Holy Quran too. So, it is violating the Sharia too. So, this is against the religion and against the constitution. So, again, this instant triple talaq was abolished, declared unconstitutional by Supreme Court. Also, with respect to Parsis too, there was a case which came in the Supreme Court regarding a woman who had married outside Parsis, and she was fighting for a right to pray at the Tower of Silence for her departed father. So this was also, through Supreme Court intervention made possible. So such have been the cases. Even recently, there is still a case which is going on, so which has been referred to a constitution bench on the question of female circumcision or khubs, which is prevalent in Dawoodi Bohra sect of Muslims. So there is a petition that this is female genital mutilation and violation of women's right to life and dignity. So Supreme Court is hearing this case too. So these have been various cases with respect to religion in which the Supreme Court has intervened and upheld the rights of women. One which is still going to be heard. And there are other cases which are of political nature, but the article argues that in those cases the Supreme Court has not been bold enough. Like in the case of arrested activists, majority opinion came that there is no such clue in the evidence which has been brought forth that they have been targeted for their political viewpoints, for their political dissent. So that was the Supreme Court ruling in the activist case. So that the article says that it was not a bold action taken by the Supreme Court with respect to politics. Even with respect to Ayodhya case too, the question put forth on the Ismail Faruqi verdict of 1994 that mosques is an essential part of Islam, offering prayers in mosques. So here also, since the ruling said that it is not an essential part of Islam, that you should pray in mosque only. So again, this ruling was not put forward for a larger bench to have it finalized once and for all, and the petition was dismissed, and the Ayodhya ruling is proposed to be taking place within schedule as such, as which the Supreme Court, and that the target which the Supreme Court has put for itself. So again, this is called being shying of politics. So that is fighting shy in politics. Then third case which is highlighted is regarding the Aadhaar case. So in the majority opinion in the Aadhaar case too, they upheld that yes, Aadhaar law act is a money bill. They said that Aadhaar provisions do not contradict right to privacy. So here also the viewpoint taken was on those lines. So sacrificing privacy as such for Aadhaar. So these are some of the prominent cases in which rulings have come, and this is a gist of all those cases here. Even adultery is no longer a crime. Even this was a law which was discriminatory against women. So this has also been ruled on by the Supreme Court recently. Then next is Punjab to post nodal officers to curb stubble burning. So this is regarding stubble burning. So after harvest, so paddy, rice harvest, the burning of straw which is left on the fields takes place. Punjab grows paddy on 65 lakh acres of its land, and after harvesting, which has taken place now, 20 million tons of straw is left on the field. So this straw needs to be disposed of, and around 15 million tons of this straw is burnt by the farmers to clear the fields so that the field is ready for the next crop. So the government has imposed a ban on stubble burning because it results in hazards for the environment and also the health. So for these concerns, they have banned stubble burning, and to curb this menace now, state government of Punjab says that they have decided to appoint nodal officers in 8,000 paddy growing villages to ensure this stubble burning does not take place. For the farmers as such are demanding that they be given modern technology, modern equipments to clear their fields of this stubble, one, or the government buys off this stubble from them so that it can be disposed of and they have no need to burn stubble there. So that is the demand of the farmers too. So here you can see stubble burning. What are the advantages and disadvantages of it as listed? That it facilitates timely planning of the following crop. It clears the land quickly of residues before the next crop, but then it results in significant air pollution, and it kills beneficial soil insects and microorganisms too. So here you can see this is the demand being made by farmers too, that government should buy this stubble from us. Then can be used as cattle feed, etc. too. So then next is S-400 come up on the agenda of Modi-Putin. So this is regarding the bilateral summit which is to take place between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin in New Delhi on October 4 and 5. So here what would be on agenda? The two major deals on agenda would be Kamov 226T utility helicopter deal and the S-400 systems deal, air defense systems deal. So these two deals are likely to be on agenda. It has not been stated so, but then these are the two key defense agreements between India and Russia. So the intergovernmental agreement for 200 Kamov 226T utility helicopters at an estimated cost of over $1 billion has already been concluded. So under the deal, 60 helicopters out of 200 would be imported from Russia and another 140 would be built in India by HAL, with technology transfer. So this is the Kamov 226T utility helicopter deal, and another deal is for S-400 air defense systems. So we want to buy 5 such systems, air defense systems. So this is for around 39,000 crore that this deal would be finalized. So the intergovernmental agreement between the two countries on this also has been concluded in 2016 for 5 such systems and 4 stealth frigates too. So commercial contract is to be negotiated now. So the offset clause for S-400 also here, the government says, India says that we have decided to drop this offset clause. So Russia also had earlier said that we do not want any offset clause in this. The offset clause means how much ever India pays, like if it is paying 39,000 crore for this deal. So it is going to pay that much to Russia. Russia has to ensure that a section of it, say 30% or 50% of it should be invested back into the country, that amount. So that's what an offset clause means. But India says that we have decided to drop the offset clause because it would delay It would drive up the cost and delay deliveries. This is Indian government's justification for not having offset clause. But then apart from this, there is other concern for S-400 too. That is that USA is resisting. USA is blocking countries buying S-400 air defense system from Russia. USA has passed a law. This is called CAATSA, Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. So under CAATSA, then there are restrictions or sanctions imposed on countries who have defense relations with America's adversaries, America's enemies. That is, here Russia is specifically targeted. So other countries also, like China has acquired Su-35 fighter jets and S-400 systems from Russia. So because of this, in September 2018, USA imposed sanctions on some entities and individuals in China. Then in December 2017, Turkey signed a deal to acquire these systems. Saudi Arabia has also signed a deal to acquire the S-400 systems. So it's not just India, but China, Turkey, Saudi Arabia who are also buying this. Even Qatar is planning to buy S-400, but then Saudi Arabia is also threatening Qatar with military action. Though it has brought S-400, it doesn't want its regional rival to buy S-400. So even Algeria is said to have in its possession the S-400 air defense system. So this S-400 air defense system of Russia is also known as Triumph. NATO name for it is SA-21 Growler. So it is considered one of the most advanced long-range defense systems in the world. It has a range of 400 km and can hit targets at a height of up to 30 km. It has powerful radars, can track hundreds of targets simultaneously and destroy a range of targets. And each system as such includes a command post, 3D phased area acquisition radar, optional tracking radar and firing units. So this is what India wants to purchase too. This is regarding Kamau Tu-2060 helicopters. They are going to replace Chetak and Cheetah helicopters in the Indian Armed Forces. So Ka-Tu-2060 is powerful light multi-role helicopter. So it can operate day and night in regular and adverse weather conditions too, even overland or on expanses of water too, and also during high winds. And this is regarding CAATSA, Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, which was enacted in 2017 and came into effect from January 2018. So it targets America's adversaries, means Russia, North Korea and Iran. So one of its provisions targets Russian defense firms and countries doing business with them. So India has many defense deals with Russia. Many are being proposed to be finalized. So that is a concern for India. But then there can be, some certain concessions given, like new clauses can be inserted by the US in this National Defense Authorization Act, which will empower the Trump administration to suspend CAATSA sanctions for certain countries, like that India will reduce its dependence on Russia, and presently sanctions against India can be relaxed. So these are other countries also, as we discussed, which could be affected by CAATSA because of their defense relation with Russia with respect to S-400. So it's not just India, but China, Turkey, even other countries like EU, Indonesia, Vietnam have defense relations with Russia. They purchase military equipment from Russia, because of which they would also be affected by CAATSA. Then next is social media giants to help Election Commission clean up poll campaign. So this is regarding internet majors like Google, social media giants like Twitter and Facebook. They have assured the Election Commission of India that they will not allow their platforms to be used for anything which affects the sanctity of polls during the campaign period. So such action by these social media giants was tested during the Karnataka elections. So this worked well. Now even assembly elections are due in 4 states in the country: MP, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Mizoram later in 2018, and then finally in 2019 Lok Sabha elections. So the Election Commission has asked them what they can do to prevent the adverse impact of fake news and targeted communication to voters. So 48 hours before the close of voting, during those last 48 hours before voting takes place, there should be no such no such appeal for votes, etc. being done, no advertisement, etc. So this model code of conduct which Election Commission puts into effect should be applicable to social media too, and should be ensured that it is followed on social media too. So social media giants are cooperating with Election Commission. Then next is Macedonians vote in referendum on changing their country's name. So Macedonia is actually a country in Europe, and its name is also the name of the Macedonian civilization, and Greece also has a region named Macedonia. So Greece has this province called Macedonia, and Greece is opposing the name of the country as Macedonia, because of which it is opposing its membership to NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, to and European Union. So Macedonia has still not become a member of NATO, not a member of EU, because of Greece opposition. Greece has blocked its membership bids. So it's a decades-old dispute here. So now the country has decided to change its name, because recently in June 2018, Greece and Macedonia came to a deal in which Macedonia agreed to change its name to Republic of North Macedonia, and then Greece said that we would stop blocking its membership to EU and NATO. So now Macedonia is going for a referendum, asking the people to vote. And the ballot reads, are you for NATO and EU membership with acceptance of the agreement with Greece? So this is the question. The vote, for a vote to be successful, turnout needs to be at least 50% plus one vote. So this voting will take place and the results will be out. We'll come to know whether Macedonia changes its name or not. So this is the referendum to take place on September 30. It has taken place. So the results will also be discussed in news soon. So this is there. So it seems as if it's a second declaration on independence. So this is a whole dispute, you can see detailed out. And this is the location of Macedonia. Its neighbors are Greece, Albania, Bulgaria, Serbia, and the newly constituted country in Europe, Kosovo. So these were the Balkan nations, basically, you can see. Then next is Musk out as Tesla chair, stays CEO in $40 million SEC deal. So this is regarding Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla, the company. So Elon Musk actually came under a controversy because of his tweets on Twitter. So because of this controversy erupted, and Securities and Exchange Commission has also looking in this matter, and they have come to a settlement. So Tesla and SEC have come to a settlement in which Mr. Musk, Elon Musk, who is the CEO, has been allowed to remain the CEO, but he has to relinquish his post as the chairman. So he should not be the chairman anymore, and there should be an independent chairman hired by Tesla to oversee the company. So that is what the deal says, along with a total payment of $40 million. So Elon Musk has agreed to make this payment to SEC too. This is because of certain statements which were made by him. So this is the government lawsuit. Government has approached the SEC against Elon Musk because it is said that he fooled the investors with misleading statements. He was saying that there is a proposed buyout of the company. So this tweets of Mr. Musk sent on August 7 indicated that he had the financing in place to take Tesla private at a price of $420 per share. So such statements became misleading. So such reckless tweets can cost a lot of money actually. So Tesla stocks also, because fell also because of the SEC lawsuit too. So this has erased shareholder wealth also of Tesla. So this is the whole case here. So Tesla, you should know, we have discussed Tesla and Elon Musk earlier too. Tesla is the company which manufactures electric cars. So it is the electric car manufacturing company, and also Tesla has entered into space. So that is the Falcon, which SpaceX, which you have seen. SpaceX is of Tesla. So here you can see Elon Musk, and history is provided. It was in 1971 that he was born. He founded PayPal, and then SpaceX, Tesla, the electric car manufacturing company. Even an electric car was sent to space recently. That was also in news last year. or rather this year only. So here you can see this is the entire timeline of tweets by Elon Musk. So Elon Musk tweeted what seemed to be a suggestion that Tesla will go private through a sale. So though no official announcement was there, such statement being leaked is not allowed under the market norms, market regulation norms. So here you can see. Later he also tweeted, I am super appreciative of Tesla shareholders, will ensure their prosperity in all scenarios. So all these tweets resulted in, he tweeted, you can see, implication that Tesla will explore a sale. This actually, you can see, finally said that final decision has not yet been made, but the reason for doing this is all about creating the environment for Tesla to operate best. So such statements being made by him, misleading statements. So Tesla employees have made such statements. So this resulted in a controversy, and finally he had to pay a fine and give up his chairmanship of Tesla. Then this is regarding PM Mudra Yojana. So this is a scheme which has been launched in 2015 by the government, under which Mudra, which stands for Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency. So it provides refinancing to microfinance institutions. So there are various phases in which this can be done. So Shishu, Kishore and Tarun are the three forms in which Mudra scheme is put into effect. So Shishu is for loans up to 50,000, then 50,000 to 5 lakh Kishore, and 5 lakh to 10 lakh is Tarun. So this is the Mudra scheme, refinancing for microfinance institutions. So this is the detail of the Mudra scheme given here. So it has been in news recently too, when former RBI governor Raghuram Rajan highlighted how here also NPAs can be generated. So government has to be aware of this. So here you can see the detail provided as such. So this is the average loan size in Shishu, Kishore and Tarun products of PM Mudra Yojana. And this is the borrower profile as such shown. How many OBCs, general, SC, ST. And this is with respect to number of accounts of Shishu, Kishore and Tarun. And this is the amount sanctioned as such for Shishu, Kishore and Tarun. And then here you have this detail regarding the number of loans, how it is increasing over the years, amount sanctioned increasing over the years, amount dispersed has been increasing over the years. And here this is regarding the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana partners who are providing these loans. So public sector banks, private banks, regional rural banks, microfinance institutions, cooperative banks. So almost all financial sector entities are supporting this scheme. Then next is, can India's share of global economy bounce back to 25%? So this is a question being raised because around 3 centuries ago it is said that India's share of global economy was about 25%, means 300 years ago. So after that India missed the 3 waves of industrialization. So industry 1.0, industry 2.0, industry 3.0 was missed by India. Industry 1.0 is when industrial revolution set in, that is when mechanization came in, steam power, power looms, weaving looms were invented. Industry 2.0 is when mass production and assembly line came in. So that is called the second industrial revolution. So that is that. Then industry 3.0 is when electronics and computers took the markets. And now there is industry 4.0 which is unveiling, when industries and the digital worlds are converging. So it is said, the article argues that this is once in a lifetime opportunity for India to regain lost ground by leveraging its inevitable combination of technology and talent. So we have technology too, we have talent too, we have to take advantage of this and drive ourselves ahead to industry 4.0. So the article argues that there are areas in which we need to work. 3 major areas highlighted. One is with respect to education. So digital disruption, it says that it's affecting every aspect of our life, that because of digital world, every phase, every aspect of our life is affected. So even education gets affected. So there's a need for higher education to be innovative, So develop multidisciplinary talent. So it says corporate funded universities, deemed universities, autonomous institutions should be exponentially increasing in the country. So there should be given the leeway to innovate. Second, it says there should be skilling. Individuals should be skilled to participate in this. So it says that apart from corporate social responsibility, which is emphasized on, there should be individual social responsibility. Means in the corporate sector, people who are working, individuals, they should share their skills and improve the skilling in the country. So that is highlighted. Third, it talks of labor laws. So labor laws, it says, are dating back to a time when government and PSUs were creating jobs. So they are no longer applicable. There are new ways in which economy works, like there is work from home, there is crowdsourcing, dual employment, moonlighting. What are these terms also we'll discuss below. So now there are new laws needed which are employment friendly. Neither employee friendly nor employer friendly. They should be employment friendly is what the article is demanding. So this is there. So here you can see Industry 4.0 is highlighted. So first was mechanization, second mass production, third computers, and now industries and computers working together, cyber physical systems, all connected via Wi-Fi, you can see, and machines functioning in the digital world. So that is Industry 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution. Then crowdsourcing. What crowdsourcing means is outsourcing. As you understand, something is given out to be function, to be outsourced. Like you don't do it yourself, you outsource it to someone else. Crowdsourcing basically is when large number of people are allowed. When you outsource a project, and a large number of participants, anyone can participate in that project, then it is called crowdsourcing. So an example of crowdsourcing is also given, like design contest organized by websites, blogs. So they can participate and they can win and get paid for the work too. So this is called crowdsourcing. Moonlighting, the term means to have a second job in addition to one regular employment, usually after hours. So during moonlight, at night you work. So that is called moonlighting. So these are new ways in which employees function, new terminologies in employment. So labor laws also have to be modified accordingly is what the article was arguing. Then the last news item is, in a first, South African lion cubs conceived artificially. So this is first ever lion cubs born by artificial insemination in the world, which have been done by University of Pretoria scientists in South Africa. So here they have been researching on the reproductive system of female African lions. So African lions which are present here, lions are actually extinct now in 26 African countries. Numbers in the wild have fallen to 43% over the last 2 decades. Only 20,000 lions are left in the wild now. So on IUCN 2, African lions are vulnerable. So there's a need to conserve them, and now artificial insemination has been successful here. So you should know about African lions. They live in a group which is called pride. So they are the only members of the cat family that live in a group. A pride usually includes 2 male lions, 12 females and their cubs. So the young males within the pride eventually leave to take over their own pride, headed by another male. And you should know the females are the one which do most of the hunting. And this is the location of African lions presently who are vulnerable and threatened by hunters in Africa. So that is the detail given here. There are less than 30,000 African lions in Africa now. And this is regarding Asiatic lion. So Asiatic lion, what we were talking of earlier was African lion, and this is the Asiatic lion, which is an endangered species, which is located in and around the Gir forests in Gujarat in India. That is the place where they are found. So these are the news items. Thank you.